Going on, Legion Rudy here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Data Gaming XP Grind episode 119. So, in this episode, what I want to do is not go to sleep, but actually, what I'd like to do is go kill a little bit of sheep and ram. And obviously, we have already shot down our rune essence. I have contemplated whether or not I actually want to start um, using all the lodestones again. But obviously, the reason I stopped is because it takes too long to actually do that, and it's not fun for me. And while I'm making videos, it's a little bit brutal to actually collect all that. But obviously, it would help me gather them a lot faster, and it makes more sense to actually do it that way, to sort of just do it in bulk. But obviously, we're not in a crazy hurry to get a million rune crafting XP before Valhalla comes to the game, as I've stated many times before, it would really limit what we could do as far as progressing in skills. Looks like there's grass sort of sitting on the side of that mountain, but so I mean, I suppose we could sort of shoot down essence here and there, and then at some point we could come back and sort of grab all the essence that we've shot down. I guess it wouldn't really hurt anything since we spend so much time out here. And actually, I do remember now that I said I was going to be working on cooking in this episode. So let's go ahead and grab a little bit of dwellberries while we're out here. And if we potentially kill a little bit of sheep and ram while we're out here, it won't really hurt anything. We're just going to get a little bit more XP in range and gathering a little bit more food resources. So ultimately, I think it really works towards what we're trying to do in this episode. So let's just go ahead and keep the course and pick up anything we can before our inventory gets full. But really, primarily, it would be quite nice to get a lot more of the dwellberries so we can actually use those to cook. But let's go ahead and go do that really quick. And yeah, so we've been having a good time playing RuneScape Dragonwilds. We're really excited about Valhalla to come to the game. It's going to increase the time that we're actually on the game substantially. Working on new things, just sort of checking everything out, checking out the terrain in the game, checking out new monsters, new animals, collecting hordes and hordes of materials, and just really appreciating all the hard work that would have been put in the game when that actually does release. So we're really excited about it, and we're gonna hit it really hard. But let's go ahead and grab these strawberries really quick, and go ahead and start cooking once we get back. There's these gigantic clusters of dwellberries, which I really, really appreciate, and that just allows for us to get a lot more, and then that way we can get a lot more cooking XP while we're working on it. It's so hard to walk away from the sheep and ram because they are XP, but we've, I guess, at some point got to realize that just because they're all out here doesn't mean we're always going to get to kill all of them. So let's go ahead and kill these last two ram, and then I guess we'll head back. I mean, we could sit out here for hours upon hours, just endless, basically working on killing sheep and ram. But I really want to try to get the cooking worked on, as it's very important, and we've sort of put it on the back burner. We obviously did just clean up our base quite a bit, and now we're going to be messing it up again a little bit. So let's go ahead and grab a cooking potion. Looks like we've got quite a bit of them. And then let's pull out all of our resources and just sort of see what we can actually do to cook today. So some of these things we only have one. I don't really want to cook the cabbage. What's this? Raw game meat. Did they change the look of this? It really looks like they did. I don't know why they changed it. It almost looks burnt. But I did remember now they were talking about adding burnt food to the game because they're going to be using farming for compost. So potentially they actually, that looks a little burnt. But let's see what happens when I go to do it. It's a haunch. I don't know. Interesting. I'm not sure what's going on with that, actually, to be quite honest. Um, I don't think they changed. It looks like they might have actually changed the ratio of the food. Yes, they did. So I think that must have happened, and I just wasn't even paying attention. It looks like it's all 1-to-1 now. So we're actually going to be getting more XP. I never noticed it because I haven't been working on cooking, but that's going to substantially potentially increase the XP we're going to be getting in cooking, which is actually really exciting. So potentially dirty water will actually be way better to actually work on now, which would be quite exciting because that's something that was a bit of a deterrent from actually collecting a ridiculous amount of dirty water. So if they did in fact change it, then we can actually spend more time collecting dirty water and then really get cooking back in the mix, because I feel like we've put it on the back burner a large way. So we've got 200 XP here. So is it possible that they may change the 1-to-1 ratio? But as far as XP, it's still the same. I've got no idea, but we should expect probably some burnt food. So potentially they actually changed the ratio because we're going to be getting burnt food, and they didn't want it to be absolutely crazy, right? Sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying. They changed the ratio because obviously, because you're going to need to get burnt food for compost. So potentially that's why they changed the 1-to-1 ratio, so that way they could make up the difference, and you could actually be getting burnt food and then still be getting food as well, versus just having it be that you're losing all that. So it looks like, I believe it used to be a 2-to-1 ratio on the clean water, and I think we're still getting the same XP. I'm not 100% sure. That's something I'd have to look at, and it does look like we might be. So if that's the case, I think I might actually go back to cleaning water. It could be a significant source for cooking. I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch me collect thousands of clean water, but it will be something we're going to be adding to the thing that we do daily. Probably doing a little bit of cooking. So what we can do while all that stuff's finishing up cooking, we can actually go back out. And this is crazy. I'm not sure when it hit. I wasn't really paying attention to the updates, and I didn't really see anything on the load-in sort of install or anything like that. So it must have happened when I wasn't really paying attention, or like I said, we haven't really been working on cooking in the game recently. So it could have easily happened, and I just misread it or didn't even really pay attention. I think it actually came out with the splat. I think that's when it came. So it's possible I just overlooked that because I was more interested in the other thing that had come. But we're going to have to look into that a little bit more. And regardless, it doesn't really matter when it came into the game. What matters is it did come to the game. So now we're going to be able to basically hopefully get more cooking XP from this, which will be great because cooking was the one thing really dragging us down. And now we can actually potentially include it in a lot more of our daily gaming XP grind videos. And I'll feel a lot better about it because I sort of really just didn't like how much time that was being invested into collecting city water. And then obviously, yes, we did get animal meats, but for the most part, I think that it just wasn't enough. And since I kill so many sheep and ram, you would think I would have made a lot more progress in the skill itself. But now I think we're going to be headed in the right direction. And so I think what we're going to do here is we're going to kill these for a little bit longer, which should give our food plenty of time to actually finish crafting. It might take a minute because now instead of just getting 40 of something, you're going to be getting 99. So it's quite a big difference, and it just means it's going to take a little bit longer to actually finish up. So we will just keep killing and collecting, so that way we can focus on our investment in working on these different things. But it looks like we're out of bolts, so I guess we've got to head back to our base anyway. Let's go ahead and put the stuff away and see if we can't find some more bolts that are sort of lying around. Let's take a look what's going on. Yes, interesting. It looks like a new type of meat, unless it's the deer meat. I don't ever recall it looking like that. That's the only issue I potentially see with this. Let's see. Bolts, bolts. So I don't really see any bolts. Maybe I put them in another chest. Warband is attacking my base with absolutely no bolts to defend myself. Let's see. We could put the fang arrows out. I guess we're going to have to fight these guys with melee, which isn't the end of the world because now we're actually going to be able to level up our melee a little bit. So let's go ahead and take care of these guys as they're a nuisance. And obviously it's quite a bit of goblin packs, so it's going to be good when we get to open up those at some point in the game when Valhalla comes and farming's here, and we could potentially actually benefit a lot more from it by getting seeds, if that's the case. And if not, we're going to open up all of our goblin packs, and then we're going to have an insane amount of quorum and also anything else that might actually be in the packs. So not really a big deal to open it up right now, but potentially it might actually contain other things for future expansions into the game or new skills. So lots of reasons to not actually open them up right now. So let's go ahead and take a look what we can actually do, because I could have swore I had a lot. Oh my gosh, I forgot one. I could have swore I had a lot more bolts just sort of lying around that I could actually use. And now I'm not really seeing them. I potentially just put them in a different chest, but I don't want to use blurite. It's absolutely a terrible idea. Basically, I'm saving all my better bolts for the expansion because I believe that these guys are going to be really tough to kill, some of them anyway, and I'm going to want to be able to do more damage to those. Um, I don't really see any other bolts. I thought I had a bunch, so we're going to have to make some bolts, which isn't really the worst thing in the world. It's going to give us a little bit of Artisan XP, which we don't really need, but okay, so let's see what we can do. Feathers and bronze bars. But we probably don't want to use the worst kind of bar that we can, right? So let's take a look. We've got iron bolts, iron bars, and feathers. So let's go over here. It's actually really quite easy to make these. We've got 11 there and then some feathers. And then we've got some feathers here. We are going to need more bars. So we might actually have to go to our storage warehouse, which I think is actually really cool. So got a little bit of bronze bars left and some iron bars. How much ore do I have? You know, that's something I really haven't checked in a long, long time. But I know I actually got a little bit of extra with the Zima's store, so that I made, and I took it out of all the chests. So quite a bit of iron ore, quite a bit of tin, and then copper. Not an insane amount, but I've used so many bars to make armor for my mannequin army. So if I hadn't have really done that, I would have actually had a lot more accessible and potentially, I don't know, that's tough. But I'm not going to go back to mining all these ores because that was crazy when I did all that stuff. It took a really long time, but like it was a lot of fun. Like actually working on those things were huge for me in the game. I really enjoyed my time spending it doing those things. Mining was really big for me. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, I mean, like it really doesn't consume that many iron bars to make that many. So actually quite works out nicely. So let's go ahead and see if we can't find our cooking potion because we seems to have misplaced them, which is constant. There we go. So we've got these here. I probably should move these just so I don't have this problem again later. So it looks like all this potentially might be done, and we got 2100 XP, and I don't really think we actually made that much food. So, oh, put them back in again. I'm just going to put those back where they actually go. So it looks like it's actually still producing. So it's got 42 left. So basically making it a 1-to-1 ratio has actually helped us significantly. And I believe that if we just collect a lot of dirty water, it's going to really bring us a lot. So I guess I'm going to wait for nightfall and then we'll just go to sleep and then be able to collect everything that we need to at once. Like I stated, I will be collecting dirty water behind the scenes. I'm not going to put you guys through that. But for now, let's see what we could do to sort of pass a little bit of time. Maybe we could go try to find this body that I've got. You know, like looking at this here, is the body here or is it there? I would probably have to say it's over here, up on the hill. And I'm not actually going to go over there because this is where the game really lags because I've got so much stuff built. But we can collect some dwellberries for next time when we work on cooking. Now the game's a little bit laggy because obviously I think it's starting to try to refresh because where we just were was such a tremendous amount of data trying to load in. So hopefully we can move here shortly. Let's go ahead and go here and see. So that sort of broke me free. So let's hope now we can, there we go. So I think it just needed to sort of be able to move. Let's see. Let's go ahead and collect these dwellberries. And then by the time we go back, hopefully it's time to go to sleep. So that way we can actually start our XP update and then basically call it a day. I wouldn't say a ridiculous amount actually got achieved in this episode, but actually that's not entirely true because now we know if we collect dirty water, we're actually going to benefit in such a tremendous way that originally I sort of abandoned the idea. I thought it wasn't worth it, but now there's the potential, a very small potential, that I could actually reach 1,000,000 cooking XP before Fell Hollow. Um, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but it just brings the idea a little bit more closer to a possibility. Um, I guess that just depends really on how hard I want to hit it, and at this current point in time, I've really got no idea. So that wasn't one of my original goals. It was just sort of do the best you can and hope that you get somewhere near about. I think originally we said 500,000 XP in cooking, before Valhalla comes to the game. So, I mean, even if we can accomplish that, I'd be grateful for that and very happy with it. So, we've got a little bit more time. So, let's just go ahead and run around here and then collect a little bit more things that have been left on the ground, tidy up a little bit, even though I'm just going to end up doing it again. So, it's just really not that big of a deal. We got to watch out for these archers. I really don't want to fight 2 archers right now. Let's grab these dwellberries and then head into here. It's pretty much time to go to sleep. And I'm actually very interested to see how much XP I did get in cooking today. I know I worked on attack a little bit, fighting those goblins. I know I worked on range. I know I worked on artisan. So it's quite an exciting thing to just be able to work on so many things that I don't necessarily get to work on because obviously some of them we don't really do much in anymore because we don't really need the XP. Sometimes when this is close to nightfall, it'll actually let you go to sleep. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And I think time goes by a little faster when you're sleeping. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And there we are. So let's go ahead and just take a little bit of food, a little bit of water. And then we will collect the rest of this. And then do an XP update. Now, I wasn't expecting that much XP, so I'm actually very certain that if I just work and keep doing this and stay at this pace, I will be able to attain a really good amount of cooking XP before Valhalla comes to the game. So, attack XP 320,000, ranged 55,000, 644, woodcutting 1,001,000, construction 2,013,000, rune crafting 937,437. Magic 123,000, mining 4,220,000, artisan 4,126,000, and cooking 361,496. So making efforts on lots of skills and just moving closer to our progression and our ultimate goal of road to max. And hopefully you guys are enjoying your adventures in RuneScape Dragonwilds. Thanks for watching our content, and until next time, Legion Luda out.